This is our fancy countdown clock, Mika. It's very high level
I love it.
production here.
It is
We're waiting.
fancy.
We're streaming
Yep.
on one Facebook, two Facebook, LinkedIn. YouTube is always the last to go. We're waiting. We're waiting. Come on, YouTube, you can do it. I'm running out of time here. I'm running out of on ramp. There we go. Okay.
Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Thank you to the voice of Ryan Treasure, always gets me on the air. I'm Bonnie D. Happy to be here. And this is part two of a topic I did. Let me see how long ago. It was a couple of months ago. One of my returning panelists is here, and I've got a couple of very interesting ladies joining us. Brea, we were here on June 25th doing part one of this, and now we've got some new players here. So I want to welcome our newcomers, Mika Carter and Tammy Schaefer. And I'm going to start off with a gift for all of you. So listen up, and when I call your name, just wave, okay? So welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where AI is reshaping businesses, and we'll uncover how. With Bonnie D on her Scarlett Mic guiding the show, shaping the conversation with energy and flow. Three futurists join with firsthand savvy true. Mika Carter, wave hello, Brea Woodson, and Tammy Schaefer too. On the future of female entrepreneurs in AI, they will share predictions of success and innovation with flair. Their journeys and wisdom show AI can ignite new ventures, new markets, and bold futures bright. And now here I have an individual welcome for each of you. Mika, you are first. From Windsor's charm across Detroit's wide stream, Mika grew up with ambition and a dream. A firstborn with drive, a protective big brother, poetry in Latin set her apart from every other. Her mother declared can't was never allowed, so Mika stood tall, determined, and proud. A teen mom in high school, yet college on time, journalism studies, her future would climb. From Channel 4 News to Ford's TV stage, media psychology became Mika's next page. Now clientized leads with AI in her hand, helping businesses grow with a suite well-planned. Mika loves travel and culture, cuisine to explore, sharing meals with loved ones she treasures even more. Mika, how'd you do? What do you think?
Oh, I love that. So creative. That's really fun to listen to.
I'm
You're
glad. That's your life. Sometimes people say, who is that? There you go. So that's for Mika. Now, Brea is next. Brea, welcome back. And this is fresh. This isn't the same one I used last time. From Dodge, Nebraska, a town small and tight, Brea Woodson grew up with big dreams in sight. Her parents encouraged her studies with care, which led her to marketing research to share. A bachelor's in hand with psychology blend, then a master's in research, her path would extend. From Purina to Wells Fargo, Fidelity too, Brea mastered consumer behavior in view. Her dad's small business showed struggles each day, and Brea found solopreneurs also lost in the fray. So she built GRT with a framework so clear, cutting noise, easing stress, and replacing the fear. With family, with travel, with concerts that thrill, London, Hawaii, the Northwest, Brea's heart finds joy still. How we do?
You did great.
I'm glad.
Like,
Okay. Okay, and Tammy, you're next. Tammy Schaefer's journey, creative and keen, thrives behind the scenes where details are seen. With Blue Butterfly Solutions, her vision takes flight, helping business owners work smarter, not have to fight. Her 20s began with a legal degree. Organization and problem solving came naturally. From cleaning to pets to resumes to Tammy's ventures built skills in all that she'd do. In construction's fast pace, Tammy learned to assist, adapting with strength. No challenge was missed. Now she streamlines the chaos that hinders success so business leaders find freedom and then can stress less. A believer in AI as a partner, a friend, Tammy shows how to use it for growth without end. Tammy, what'd you think?
Perfect. I love it.
Good. Okay. So buckle in, dear audience. We've only just begun as AI meets female entrepreneurs with wisdom, and we might have some fun. With Bonnie D and her futurist, that's me. The journey is ours to drive. Together, let's explore how AI can help businesses thrive. So, ladies, give yourselves a round of applause because I'm happy to have you here. And you sent me wonderful resumes, and I appreciate that. That's how I do this, Mika. That's why I ask for origin stories instead of CVs, because I want to know who you are as a person, right? So, what I like to do is go around the table and ask you each to give me a little bit more information about yourself. Is there something I missed? Listen, it was 14 lines. How much could I do of your whole life story? But I certainly tried. And kudos to my collaborator, Sylvie. Some of you know who Sylvie is. Mika, I'm putting you on speaker view. Would you please just give us a little more background, especially about your company? When did you start it and what do you do? Welcome, Mika.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I mean, I really just enjoy your creativity.
Thank
And
you.
that was a lot of fun just listening to everybody's story and knowing what I told you and how you were able to make that into a little bit of poetry. So that was a great way to kick things off. I truly enjoyed that. So I'm a creative myself. So a little bit more about my background is kind of what you said. I did start off in journalism. And I find that that really helps me in the AI space and in just in general in media and in the things that I do in marketing. And a lot of, I think, of what's happening now, and I'm sure we'll get more into detail with it, is you kind of have to know a little bit about everything. It's not enough um, to just do AI or to just do marketing. And it's forcing us all to be a little bit multi-talented. So without getting a little bit too much into my background now, I think I can see that you're a multi-talented person as well. And I appreciate that about you.
Thank you. You're very, very kind. I want to know about the name of your company. It's spelled interestingly. Why don't you just tell us a little bit more, Mika?
Client Eyes.
Yes.
So Client Eyes is a product. The name of my company is just Conversion Marketing.
Okay.
So Client Eyes AI is really a suite of products. So there is a lead generation product, which is really the core product, which helps you to define people who are interested, identify your ideal client, and then put them into an automated outreach campaign. And then it uses AI to do research on the company. And then we are able to do follow up and automate follow up voice, chat, everything. Basically, it does a whole follow-up campaign. So what we found is that, and we'll get into my predictions, but essentially people are dropping the ball across the board. One, they're not reaching out to their ideal clients. They reach out to who they think, um, based on what our own understanding is, it's not the same as who the clients are who are necessarily looking for us. So finding who is your ideal client, but then making sure that you're not dropping the ball, that we can use AI now to do research on those clients and talk to them the way that they want to be spoken to, understanding in depth without doing a whole lot of background work, letting AI do that for us, finding out what their needs are, who they are as a company and where the gaps are and how you can work with them. And essentially send out email messages to see if that resonates with them. But then also people who are reaching out to you, you can actually trigger the system to then do research before it reaches back out to them and say, hey, you reached out to me. We did some research on you, and here's kind of what we found. If that resonates with you, here's some ways that we can work together. So it's not just, you can both do,
Mhm.
outreach, but also when people reach out to you, you can have more meaningful conversations when you talk with them. And then the follow-up piece is really the biggest piece. We found that research shows that 78% of leads are going to go to the first person who follows up, and it
Ah,
takes 8 to 12 follow-ups. Most people aren't going to go past 5, and I believe it's 80% of people only will do 1 or 2 follow-ups, and I have those stats here. But so
thank
that's really
you.
where we excel is with making sure that the system is filling in all of the gaps.
Thank you, Mika. I see Tammy and Brea are both nodding. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, and very often Mika and Tammy and Brea, people meet interesting people on my panels and they end up collaborating in different. I've had people who ended up co-authoring books together, who did fundraising campaigns together, who did outreach and webinars together. They never tell me, of course, I found out a year later, but still, so don't be afraid to reach out to each other. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Mika, and welcome to the
thank you.
panel. And by the way, I have a shout out to Cindy Zulsdorf, who was unable to join us today, and you came to me through Cindy's referral. So
Oh, I
thank
love Cindy. She's one of my besties.
Thank you, Cindy. She was here last time. Let's go around the table. Brea, let's catch up with you. What have you been up to? Talk to me.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the new panelists. This is a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun last time, so thank you for having me back.
Mhm.
I don't know how much I can expand on my background. You did such a lovely job of pulling it all together. But really, the path that I took from really working in larger corporate and now focusing on small business is the path. I know it's a path a lot of us take, kind of being corporate dropouts, if you will, but taking those learnings and really giving them to the small business world, giving them the tools that they need to do what they need to do to make the local, or maybe even not so local, impact that they do. So I love everything Mika is talking about. All of this stuff is so exciting to me, and being with a marketing background, my brain goes to the when we think about Zig Ziglar and all the sales and all like the number of times it takes for follow-up. And what I hear a lot from small businesses is, yes, I know it takes that many times for follow-up. Yes, I understand the stats, but like it feels yucky. So to be able to give that to AI to get some of that yuck off our plate and know that we're doing our job and serving in a way that the client needs it is really cool.
There's a tagline for somebody. Get that yuck off your plate. I love it. I'm going to give you an example after Tammy has her part right now of something that happened to me yesterday and today with somebody who was pitching something to me and how they could have used AI to do it better. Tammy, welcome back, my dear. You just did a different show with me about 2 weeks ago. I'm always happy. And look at the branding, ladies. Tammy's company is Blue Butterfly Solutions. Look at the dress. Look at the if it's a curtain, it's whatever it is. It's just beautiful. Tammy, welcome back. In the last 12 minutes since I talked to you, no, I'm teasing. Why don't you fill us in on what's been happening with you and a little bit about your business? Welcome back.
Yes, I definitely, with the help of Brea and I have been connected for a while, really restructuring the way I do business, brought in human design so that I can take the yuck off the plate. So, my business name, Blue Butterfly, is just one of the things I lead with because it speaks of transformation and growth. And the blue color is honesty and integrity. So if you want somebody you want somebody with integrity and honesty working in the back end of your business. So that's pretty much, and blue is my favorite color. So there you go.
What color are your eyes, Tammy?
They're blue.
Okay, I just was checking in. I'm the only one with red in the background here, ladies. I don't know. I do have honesty and integrity, though. Mika, you know that. You've known me for 18 minutes. Here's
Oh.
what's going on. I got a pitch, a very thoughtful pitch from somebody who wanted to be on this show. And he wrote to me. It was a lovely email, and he said, seeking a guest availability. That's how the email went. A guest availability for Technology Revolution. I get these 1 to 5 times a week from PR agents, but rarely from an individual thought leader, very rarely. So he was doing his own outreach. And he said, I am an expert in this, this, and this. And here are the 5 things I can teach your audience. I can train them to do this, 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 and this. Please tell me what's your process, what are your open dates, and what's the guest availability list? Well, I took a deep breath and I wrote back, and I rewrote it 5 times, by the way. I've had Sylvie, Mika, you can figure out who Sylvie is. She's my French. Yeah, she does things with me. Anyway, I usually have Sylvie write these, and she does a beautiful job. But I decided to tackle it. I changed it 5 times. It took me 20 minutes. And I said, his name was his name is G. We'll just leave it with G. It was a name from another culture. So I said, G, thank you for your enthusiastic pitch. I bet you were attracted to the title of my show, Technology Revel in the Future of Now Revolution, which is really catchy, and that's why I named it. I said, but I'm willing to bet You haven't watched or listened to any of the 300 plus episodes that are available all over the world since I launched this series in 2019. And if you had, you would know that it's not a one-on-one, it's not a selling venue, it's not a how-to, it's not a webinar, and you don't get to bring your own agenda. I set the topic and I have a panel who predict the future of AI and that topic. And I said, I wish you great success. Sounds like you're doing very important work with AI. I wish you great success and better luck with your pitches in the future. And I signed it with my signature with all of my shows and all of my, and I said, by the way, and ladies, I have to tell you, I was just informed this show is in the top 1.5% out of 3.6 million podcasts around the world.
Awesome.
It's number 3 out of the top 20 future tech shows podcast to listen to in 2025 on FeedSpot, and number 17 out of the top 100 on exploding podcasts. Excuse me. Well, I got a follow-up letter from this man. I did. And he thanked me for my thoughtful response. Instead of being snarky, he thought I was being thoughtful. Now, he said, I'm really just looking for a one-on-one with my own agenda. That's what I'm looking for. But Bonnie, would you keep me in mind, perhaps for the future? And I wrote back, thank you, but I engage panels more than individual speakers. It's a panel and then we put it together. I don't say, okay, here you pitch me the topic and you help build the panel. So what I was thinking was, and this is addressed to Mika especially, Mika, if he'd been smart enough to use AI, he could have researched my show and found out that it's a 3-person panel and they're futurists. And I set the topic and I sent him links to the past 10 shows with the titles of the shows. Mika, how did I do?
Yeah, absolutely. And it could even recommended, here's a topic you could recommend and some other potential panelists.
Yep. And he said, thanks very much. And that was it. But I want to treat him with respect, but I wanted to let him know there were over 300 episodes out there all over the place, and you didn't even take the time if he listened to the first 5 minutes.
And that also tells you that he didn't even use AI to
There
do
you
his
go.
research, because
There you go.
AI should have researched what are the best podcasts that I could apply to.
Yes.
What you write based on the format of the panel, or if it was going to be a panel, how could I approach this particular application?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the blanket
So I
approach.
thought that was a good accidental case study, ladies,
Absolutely.
that he could have done it better. And I thought I was being pretty nice. I actually had a lot of fun rewriting it, moving things around, and I love to write. So there you go. So now let's go to the opening quotes. I've asked each of you to send me a quote from a fictional character in a fictional TV or movie and or a song lyric, because I assume songs are mostly fictional. Okay, so Mika has sent a quote, very, very famous, wonderful quote from Michael Scott, played by the wonderful Steve Carell, or whatever you like to call him. The Office, NBC mockumentary sitcom TV series, 2005 to 13. It only had 201 episodes. Oh my, this is from season 5, episode 14, which, Mika, you probably know this, was a two-parter, and they both aired back to back the same day, episode 14 and 15. And they aired on February 1st, 2009. And the title of the episode was Stress Relief. It's a two-parter, season 5, and this was the 86th and 87th overall episode of the series. Mika, I love my research, and I do it myself.
Love it.
Let's see now. Dwight, this is just the background. Dwight sets a fire in the office to test the office's fire safety skills, but things go from bad to worse. Yuck on the plate. Talk about that. It was burning off the plate when Stanley suffers a heart attack, causing Michael to come up with ways to relieve stress in the office, including a comedic roast of himself. Meanwhile, Andy, Jim, and Pam watch an illegally downloaded movie at work starring Jack Black, Jessica Alba, and Cloris Leachman. And Pam deals with her parents' recent argument that caused her father to move in with her and Jim temporarily. Oh my goodness, so much going on. And here is the wonderful quote Mika has selected from Michael Scott. I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do. Okay, Mika, take about 2 to 3 minutes and relate this to our topic and what you do, AI, female entrepreneurs, helping business. Go.
I mean, if I'm honest, it also comes to me. I feel this way sometimes, but I feel like this is most business owners when it comes to lead gen and follow up. They're really smart and they're extremely good at what they do. But when it comes to their systems, it's a complete fog, right? So I feel like when I come in with clarity and structure, those are the tools that move the needle. They know what to do in their business. They know exactly what to do, but like they actually have no idea what to do when it comes to their systems and clarity and transparency and how to move the needle and understanding what's happening with their marketing. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Yes, yes, yes. We know something has to be done. It was like me writing that letter to this person, right? I knew something had to be done. And by the way, my heart was going bang, 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 beep, 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 because I get excited, but I get a little scared that I'm going to say the
Yeah.
wrong thing because sometimes I'm brutally
Exactly.
honest.
They know they need to spend money on their marketing. They're willing to invest. They know they're willing to hire a good team. They know they're willing to hire a marketing person, but they just don't know exactly what to do, and they really actually don't know what to do at all. They're just like they just keep trying stuff, you
And
know.
sometimes AI makes suggestions that we like that maybe aren't exactly the right one first. So that's in introspection and review. Okay, let's go to Brea Woodson's quote. Brea loves Ted Lasso. Brea loves Ted. Let me see if I can get up a track here. Ted Lasso. That's for Ted Lasso. Okay, quiet down. They are so noisy today. That's because Ted Lasso has been finally renewed and brought back, Brea, because we knew it was only a 3-season arc. And so many people said, we love Ted Lasso, that they're bringing it back. I can't wait. Okay, so Brea had a quote from Ted Lasso last time, and Ted Lasso, of course, played by Jason Sudeikis. It's a sports comedy drama television series started in 2020, renewed for season 4. And I believe this quote is also from the August 14th, 2020, season 1, episode 1. And if anybody doesn't know it, you just have to go and find it. It's wonderful. Ted Lasso was an American college football coach who knows absolutely nothing about English soccer. But, okay, Rebecca Welton, who's pissed at her philandering ex-husband who owns the team, she gets the team in the divorce and she wants to destroy it to go middle finger to Rupert. Sorry, I won't do that on the air. And she hires Ted and he comes over and he has no idea what he's doing. Mika, for your quote, he has no idea what he's doing, but he knows. And everybody falls in love with his folksy ways. So here is, these are Ted Lasso isms. And here's Ted Lasso ism Brea selected this time. Taking on a challenge is like riding a horse. If you're comfortable, you're probably doing it wrong. Okay, I think we can all relate to that. Brea, you're up. Tell us more.
Well, I actually think that was from last time, but
Oh
this one was a
no!
little bit so.
Oh no! Go
But
ahead. I'll look for the real one. Go ahead. I'll find
no,
it.
it's okay. It's okay. All Ted Lasso isms are somewhat in the same realm. They're just kind of silly like that. But if you really give them thought, there's a lot of things to learn from them for sure. The one I chose today to me speaks to kind of what Mika. Oh, go ahead. Did you find it?
Nope. And the
Oh,
one I have in your notes from dated in June are the same as the one I just read. So go ahead. It must be somewhere else. Go ahead. Talk
okay.
about the one you wanted. I'm happy with that.
Okay. Speaking to it's something about let's see. It's doing the right thing is always doing the good thing is always doing the right thing is always a good thing or something like that. And to me that kind of speaks kind of what Tamiko is talking about, going back to we don't always know what the right thing is to do in our business, right? And Tammy knows I talk about this a lot in marketing and strategy. We take a lot of strategic experimentations. We call them strategic spaghetti at the walls. And with all the things. And sometimes we just have to do that. So tapping into what feels good, what feels aligned with our intuition, and really surrounding ourselves. We talk about ideal client, surrounding ourselves with people we collaborate and work with who have high integrity and are doing the right thing to make an impact. So
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I looked
no,
in a
you're
couple
fine.
places and that's the one I had.
I
Speaking of
stand, yeah.
Speaking of spaghetti, I was a programmer analyst. I'm Mika, I'm an early woman in tech, and I won't tell you the years, but I was programming, I was coding in COBOL on a Xerox 6 CP5 mainframe computer and key punching my code and writing 2,000 lines at a time, and I was damn good at it. But anyway, when I took my second or third job along the way, I was dealing with spaghetti code, Brea. And spaghetti code is where, and I think you can all relate to this in business, perhaps. Spaghetti code is where so many hands have touched the program, have touched the code, that people just found inelegant, unelegant workarounds. And they just keep adding, well, we'll make a branch here and we'll make a top down here. We'll do this. They don't do it clean. They don't do it properly. They just keep adding and adding. And after a while, you're saying, well, where's the logic in that? So I can relate to spaghetti. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. And we do love Ted Lasso, and the applause track stands. Okay, Tammy has found a very interesting quote. It's just 4 words. It's a catchphrase spoken by Columbo, played by the wonderful late, I believe, Peter Falk. It was a detective crime drama TV series. There were 2 pilot episodes in 1968 and 71. Tammy, I was surprised that the pilots were 3 years apart, and then it became a series from 71 to 78. Peter Falk plays Lieutenant Columbo, a homicide detective with the LA Police Department. He's shrewd, he's very observant. His trademarks are his rumpled beige raincoat, his unassuming demeanor, his cigar, his old Peugeot 403, his love of chili. I didn't remember that. And his unseen wife. He talks about her all the time.
Right.
And when he leaves a room, he returns with the catchphrase. And this is what I don't know how you found this, Tammy. Just one more thing. And that's when he asks the key question, and people say, oh, he knows I did it. So, Tammy, how did you find this one and relate it to our topic? Please go ahead.
Well, I'm a Columbo fan from way back. I
Wow.
watched, back in the day. So, but I just loved his demeanor, and I just feel like in business, as well with AI, leading with curiosity is always a good thing, and not feeling like we know it all, because that's Columbo's trademark. Was he definitely put people at ease, and he was like a dog with a bone. He just kept coming back until he unraveled the mystery. So I feel like that definitely fits with AI and business, because we know you have to keep coming back with prompts when you're working with AI till you finally unravel that perfect thing that you're looking for, which whatever it is, if you're looking for your marketing, or if you're looking for anything that you want to pull together for your business. So,
And what, just one more thing. Interesting. Mika, you coming back? I'm ready to talk to you about your predictions. I think she's off her mic. You back? Okay, good. There she is. All right. I know it's that kind of weather. But I understand. I'm convinced there's allergy stuff in the air here. Despite all the mosquito spraying I pay to have done, and the aphids, they're back, and it's like, okay, yes, I understand. Okay, let's go to predictions, and I'm going to pick one from each of you. So I'm going to start with prediction number 3 from Mika. I'll read it, and Mika, I'd like you to unpack it, as they say on the news. Take about
Yes.
2 to 3 minutes, and then I would like Tammy and Bree, or either one or both, to wiggle one of your fingers. I think you all have 10 fingers. I don't care what your fingers look like, but wiggle one of the nice fingers. That means not the middle one. I don't respond to that. I will see you wiggling the finger, and you make a comment to what Mika has said. So, Mika, I'm looking at number 3. Let me read this. You say AI will quietly separate the founders who are busy from the ones who are really growing. Having a business isn't the same as having momentum. I'm going to stop there and let you go into that without getting specific in terms of what your product does. Let's take this from a higher level of where
Yeah.
AI can help the founders and oh, I have a business, to the ones who are really making progress and making money, if that's what their goal is. Bottom line, progress. Mika, go ahead, take a couple minutes, and then we'll see what your colleagues have to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, already we're starting to see, I don't know the percentage of people who you're already seeing AI picking up the phone, for example, or AI texting you when you're contacting them. But when we're talking about, entrepreneurs, when we're talking about, businesses that, let's think about spas. If you're thinking about, I'm seeing a lot in like the med spa space. I'm seeing a lot in really any small business, a lot of women-owned businesses that I personally am interacting with. But everything, I mean, from the smallest businesses all the way up to like law firms to doctor's offices to places where it used to just be a voicemail. Now you're seeing AI interaction where they're going all the way through to booking the call for you, sending your confirmation, allowing you to do, rescheduling. So some systems are better than others, but it's the difference between, and I'm going to give you a actual example in just a second. I'll give you a couple statistics, but the key thing we're seeing is you're not just getting a follow-up that's just spam. You're not just getting follow-up that's just a message or a voicemail. What you're getting is an engagement that's moving you further either down the funnel or you're getting an actual booked appointment. You're getting a meaningful interaction with AI. And so the people who are really serious about their business are investing in systems right now that are moving the needle, that are driving conversions, that are getting the right people engaged or moving them to a live person, that are, escalating that conversion no matter what time of day it is, whether that means connecting them to a live team somewhere else, by qualifying that person in real time. So AI is kind of that middle tool. It's not always the tool, depending on the level of the business. It's not always the tool that's converting them. It may be qualifying them and then sending them to a live person, but I'm seeing that happen in real time right now. I just booked a dentist, for example, and I was getting quotes from 3 different dentists. I'll give you two examples. One, I was getting quotes for a dentist for my daughter to get braces, and one site that I went to, I did the AI qualification and it pushed me to a live person who asked me to send some pictures of her mouth. And then the live person was like, here's the quote. When would you like to, when are you looking for your timeline? And then all of a sudden I was actually talking to a live person when they saw that I was serious. Another dentist, it was a form and it said we're outside of business hours. Which one do you think I'm still talking to about actual business? Right? So
Great
there's an
example.
example where it's going to separate the people who are going to get the business because at 11 o'clock at night, the dentist office is closed.
Yep.
So the people who are doing research, who actually have the budget and are going to make the sale, the ones who are closed and aren't investing in these types of systems are going to lose the business. And honestly, it doesn't matter what type of day. Your staff has to go to the bathroom. Your staff is, are busy doing other things, handling paperwork, answering phones. They can't get back with people in real time all the time. And so that's where we're going to start to see the people who are making those investments and who are serious getting separated. Another place where we're really seeing a big difference is service-oriented companies. So I work a lot with people on Yelp, for example. And this, again, this is not my system. This is just in general. I had a issue at home and I put in a quote for HVAC. My air conditioning went out. I live in Houston. When your air conditioning goes out, you're in trouble.
I know. I'm in Tennessee. It's been close to 100 here all summer. I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? So I had to get a hotel for the night. And I was like, I need someone to come and look at my cats were sick. Like it was bad. I needed to find a hotel that would take pets. It was really bad. Wow. So I needed somebody right away. And it was after business hours, because of course it was after business hours.
Always.
Right. And so I'm sitting in my car with the air conditioning on with my poor animals in their cages and my kids. And I'm trying to find a hotel. I'm trying to find someone who can come and get my air conditioning. And I called about 5 different companies and there was only one company, who immediately texted me back. And it was an AI system, immediately texted me back. And they said, here's our availability. We can book you at this time. And so not only did it book me, but then he personally called me back by 10 a.m. They were at my house. My air conditioning was fixed by noon the next day.
Wow. Bravo. I want to put on the soundtrack. I want to give a, hold on. Let's give a cheer here. See if we can get this to go. Okay.
So the other systems, someone would call me back or someone text me and said, we'll get in touch with you. But by the time someone actually got in touch with me, I mean, just saying, hey, we'll get in touch with you was so far behind the curve of someone who actually had booked me and then followed up with me. And I have an appointment already. I know someone's going to be at my house. I know what it's going to cost me. He said, here's our starting cost. Here's our cost to come out. It was a very personal interaction. I was able to text back. It was answering questions for me. So that's the difference in the experience that we're already starting to see, even with basic follow-up systems.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. And whereas some people might say, oh, AI is so annoying, it's not, sometimes I'll ask on some websites, I'll say, are you real? Are you a bot? And I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to know because I know what I can expect. Maybe I should expect more from the gatekeeper. Interesting. I hadn't thought about it as that one who's qualifying you as the potential paying customer. Tammy's nodding. Brea, ladies, you want to say anything? I didn't see any little fingers wiggling, but you want to say something? Tammy's got the finger. Gave me the finger. Okay, go ahead, Tammy. What you got?
So I would say I get a lot of clients who are definitely not wanting to use AI, not wanting to use technology because they feel it's impersonal. And so that's been one of the things, like a calendar scheduler. I wrote one of my recent newsletters about it because it's such a time saver when you're scheduling things. And like Mika said, who are you going to deal with? The one that has it all streamlined and you're booked and you're good to go, or the one that's, fumbling, going to get back to you. So yeah, I find the consumers are not necessarily always patient and waiting for the personal touch. So if you can combine the personal touch
Yep.
and the speed, you're doing very well. So yes.
You don't want the vendor to be putting the yuck on your plate as the consumer, right?
Exactly.
There you go. It goes both ways. I have some frozen spinach I might even try it today. Brea, any thoughts before I move on? Because I'm going to give a prediction from you next. But Brea, anything on this?
No, I was going to say that kind of the same thing that Tammy said, which is I think people shy away from this stuff because it can feel so impersonal, but I think it's getting so much better. And anything that you can put, I mean, we as consumers, I tell my clients, when we in the marketing world, when we think about websites, when somebody lands on your website, we as consumers have the attention span of a less than a goldfish, right? So I don't know how they figured that out, but they did. Same thing
Research,
with
and I think Ted Lasso has something to say about
that's right.
that too.
That's
It's
right.
a
That's
squirrel, I
that's right.
think. Yeah, it's a squirrel.
Yeah. But same thing, like we don't have patience for lack of time, and especially in those situations where we're like, we just want something now, or working parents, and this is the time we get to research is after hours. Things are always closed. So absolutely, absolutely agree with it's more and more people are doing it, more and more people are doing it better, and it's just going to get better and better. So those not jumping in on it now are going to lose out on a ton of business of their, versus the early adopters.
And the key is doing it better, adopting
Mhm.
and doing it better, and learning from perhaps personal interactions with bad AI and saying, I'm throwing that yuck in the garbage. Okay, Brea, I'm looking at
Mhm.
your prediction number 3. I like this one. You say AI will make branding and content creation easier. Right now, it can be a challenge to repurpose content across all platforms and channels. It already got easier with some of the tools out there, but my guess, here's your prediction, is AI will take it further, making it seamless to adapt content across channels in a way that feels, here's that word, personalized to the consumer instead of just copy pasting everywhere. Okay, let's go a little bit into this multi-channel out repurposing, retooling, just figuring stuff out that you don't have to start creating that wheel all over again from scratch. Brea, why don't you give us a little more, please?
Yeah, I just feel, a lot of people feel like they need to be on every platform in front of every potential consumer. And that, just high level speaking is not always the best approach. But let's say you do want to be on every platform in front of every potential consumer. Right now, taking the time to take a topic and say, post it for the algorithms and the preferred format in LinkedIn versus Instagram versus email versus Facebook, it takes time. And of course, AI can help us with that, make this in the right format for these different platforms, but there's still, for the everyday business person, there's still a lot of manual work that goes into that. I imagine as we get better and better tools in AI and it becomes more widespread, you're going to be able to take one topic very easily, not only blast it to whatever platform makes sense, but also tailored to that particular person on that platform. So being able to read into who's really reading it, who your ideal clients are on there, what do they need to hear, what is the language they're looking for, and really make it personalized in that way.
So that's a double layer of personalization, personalizing in a way to the platform where
Yep.
what that platform attracts. And I'm just going to add a note here before I get Mika and Tammy to chime in. But I have a show Tammy knows called HB2U, Happy Birthday to You. And I do it 3 times a week. And I read and we take turns, me and my guest co-host, reading celebrity birthdays and the celebrities and music history events and wacky holidays. But part of my celebrity research, and this takes me hours to do every day. No matter how I've tried to streamline it, I have to end up doing all the research. But I include social media stars. Now, I don't care what age they are. I'm allergic to certain things they're doing, but it's stuff I can talk about. Okay. They have, yes, they have to have at least 1.5 million fans, followers, or subscribers. However, recently I've noticed some people with fewer than 1.5 million who are having a birthday on that day of the show. It's for the date of the show. They are on multiple platforms. So they might have, instead of maybe that, I had one yesterday who had only 800,000 followers. Oh, excuse me, just a beginner. Okay, we should all be so lucky, right? They had 22 billion views of one of their videos. Now, it also said that person was not only on Instagram, they also had a YouTube channel and a TikTok channel. There's the multi-platform, multi-channel marketing. I think they know something that a lot of businesses don't. Am I right, Brea? They get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Cross-channel and make it relevant to the other channels. Mika or
Yeah.
Tammy, you want to make a comment about the cross-channel marketing and repurposing, retooling? Anybody?
I'll
Tammy,
go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely use a social media scheduler, and
Mm.
then I incorporate ChatGPT, thanks to Brea's wisdom, to help me with each posting and gear it towards the algorithms. So yes, I definitely, when I started doing that and scheduling regularly, I people were like, "Oh, you're everywhere." So yes, there's value in being in different places.
Let's see if we can
So
get a little. Okay, there. That's for you. All right. Very interesting. Mika, talk. Go ahead. Thank you,
I
Tammy.
think Bria's spot on, and there's definitely layers to it. And we're already starting to see where the platform will make suggestions based on the person, to your point about whether it's language or whether it's, how you want to interact with this post. We're already seeing the platform starting to make recommendations. So I think you're spot on to the direction where this is starting to go.
And by the way, I rebranded my Monday night show, which has been called Read My Lips, Cool Conversations with Creatives for many years. And as wonderful a show as it is, my guests really enjoy it, and I do too. It wasn't catching on. It wasn't hitting the algorithms. It wasn't getting ranked. This
Mhm.
show got ranked without me doing anything because it's future and tech are in the
So,
title. So I asked Sylvie, and Mika, you already know who my Sylvie is. I said, help me rebrand. And and we speak in French to each other, by the way, Mika. We correspond, we send each other bisous, and I say share. I've learned how to do the accent grave on the keyboard. I know how to do that with
uh,
I've learned a lot. Anyway, I have marginal French from old days, but she's wonderful. And I said to her, help me rebrand. And she came up with about 10 potential titles, knowing what the title was originally. And then she did some research and said, this title, and I've rebranded it called now it's The Creativity Show, colon, Cool Conversations with AKA Radio Red. Real creativity, bold inspiration, something else, authentic ideas, something like that. It's got a tagline. But she
mhm.
said the creativity show, as far as she could find, was just a DIY, do-it-yourself show on YouTube somewhere. There wasn't anything at a talk show that was called so I went ahead and rebranded it. And I'm hoping it does better in terms of not catching on, but getting out there more. But I got a lot of feedback on LinkedIn where I posted the rebrand and people said, I love the new, I think Tammy, you were one of those people, said, I love the new title, but I used
Awesome.
my AI to help me figure out creatively what the options were instead of spending days or weeks noodling over it. I asked Sylvie to help me, and I
Awesome.
think she did. Mika, what do you think?
That sounds awesome. And I'm offline. I'm going to show you an AI tool I have for you for YouTube. I think.
Good, good. I would like that. Okay. Anybody else on that one? Because I'm ready to read one of Tammy's predictions, and we got time here. We all good? Okay,
Yep.
Brea, you all good? Yep.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm still wondering why I got the wrong Ted Lasso quote, but you did great with that. So I apologize if I messed that up. Okay. Tammy's prediction. Here's something we haven't talked about. We've been talking about it from the consumer perspective a lot of this conversation. Let's talk about it from the business side. AI will enhance our ability to manage travel arrangements. by analyzing real-time data to suggest the most efficient routes or routes, alerting us to potential delay, sounds like Waze, and automatically rebooking flights or accommodations. This is for you, Mika, of trying to find a hotel with minimal disruption to the itinerary. So, Tammy, let's talk about this from the person who's trying to manage business and having to go to other locations that just can't be walked or biked or taxied to. Tammy, go ahead.
Well, and often you have connecting flights and time frames. I know Brea has experienced this going from when you're in a budget airline and having to go in to another connecting flight and you miss it. What do you do? So if you have somebody, the AI can catch that immediately, kind of like Mika was talking about, is that time frame so you can tighten that in and have a possible solution before we could even, we can start thinking about it, but it would take too long manually to be looking through all of that. So AI would definitely be positioned like Waze. I mean, you can be driving down the road and Waze will tell you there's something in the road. So before you have a chance to get there, so you have time to react. So I definitely feel that will be something for the future with travel. Absolutely.
Thank you. Comments? Mika, go briefly because I have another prediction from you I want to add in, and we got about 11 minutes
Super
left. Go.
briefly, Mike, it's like kind of a reaction more than like a prediction, but
Yeah.
I guess kind of a prediction. Hopefully the airlines will be more sensitive to this, because I think what's going to happen, because we already know dynamic pricing is starting to be more of a thing too, right? They're personally and taking advantage of consumers' data because they know more who's willing and able to pay more based on all the data that is now available, because we pay everything online, we pay everything with
Yep.
credit cards,
Yep.
and they have all this data about what we're able and willing to spend. So in a situation like that, where you're kind of a captive audience, you're stuck, you missed your flight, and now you have to get another flight, what would happen to you in terms of dynamic pricing, and you're kind of in a situation where you have to purchase another flight. I'll be interested to see how airlines are going to handle a situation like that.
Okay. Brea, anything you want to add about travel?
I think it's super interesting. Number one, I'm looking forward to this day because, I mean, think about those lines at the counters now. Everybody's like rushing there and like trying to book their next one. But Mika's right. I mean, you start to see, how are companies, are they going to stand out because they're going to be fair to consumers, or some are going to like set themselves apart in a negative way because they're taking advantage of this crappy situation and, hijacking the price, skyrocketing prices and making you pay this crazy amount.
There you
So
go.
it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Tammy, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I want to squeeze in, we got 7 minutes left total. I want to squeeze in one more prediction from Mika. This is very interesting. This is for all of us female entrepreneurs. I am one. AI will help female entrepreneurs clearly explain what they do and why it works. Many women build their business on instinct, but that can only take them so far. AI will push us to document the actual steps, logic, process behind what we do. Clarity will make it easier to grow, delegate, or even license what we've built. I could have started the show with this one, Mika, but I thought it would be a good capper for everything we've been talking about. So, Mika, I can give you about 3 minutes and then 2 minutes for each of the others before we close. So go ahead, Mika.
Yeah, I mean, I have some stats and talking points, but I'll kind of skip through that just for the sake of time and kind of intuitively just talk about this. I mean, how many of you in the past have just felt like just overwhelmed by the process? There's so much you have to do, but lawyers are expensive, advisors are expensive, consultants are expensive. And so female entrepreneurs in the past who had an idea or, an invention or just a concept, people have been stuck just by the sheer cost and scale of getting off the ground. And now with, ChatGPT, Claude, just what's at your fingertips for free gives you the ability to take an idea and bring it to fruition really at little or no cost, right? The whole trademark process, you can pretty much get most of the way by yourself. You have an idea, you can figure out everything you need to do, and then just take it to someone when you're ready to do the end part. You can protect your ideas and you can execute. You can really refine things down by seeing what other people have done. You can do all your research from a basic level, really up to a really solid, almost corporate level, and get things very, very professional. So I think you can look like a much more
Focused,
I don't want to say corporate, but you understand what I'm saying? You can look like
yep.
a much,
Business-like.
yeah, you can look
Professional.
much more professional and business-like, even as a very small company. If you've got a great idea, the idea will speak for itself, with the tools that we have now.
I once had I'm getting back on the gallery view here. I once had a CPA who was doing my taxes when I had a small consulting marketing business years ago. And he said, "Can you tell me exactly what you do?" And I gave him a list of what I do. And he said, "That's too much. Can't you focus on one or two things so people understand what you do?" I thought that was interesting. That was like the time I went to my doctor and he said, "What's wrong?" And I gave him a list of 10 things that were bothering me. And he said, "That's too much." While he was typing into his laptop, I changed doctors very quickly. I said, "This is what's going on." He said, "That's way too much. I just need one thing." I said, "Well, I'm not here for one thing." Interesting, interesting. Ladies, let's go around briefly here. Brea, I can give you 2 minutes and Tammy too, and then we'll start to wrap. Brea, what do you think about women-owned businesses trying to express and focus on what we are doing? Go.
Yeah, I think Mika's right. I think everything that we have at our fingertips now makes it so much easier to launch and test something out and go into business. I think probably the most interesting piece of this will be our kids. So we're all trying to learn this now, but our kids who are growing up with this stuff, that's going to be super interesting how the next generation uses all of it to go. Our
Interesting.
daughters, yeah.
Yep, our daughters. And with so many things we want to say that we do, right? Let me give you a menu of what my services are, right, Tammy? How do you know what a specific or a particular prospect really needs or really wants? I think that's where the research and the honing comes in. Tammy, talk. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been recently doing that in my own. So yes, it's definitely having AI to help you niche down and look at it from a consumer perspective is invaluable. And I see it only getting better, as both Mika and Brea have said. Will only get easier and sharper and smarter and take us less time because you're taking all the manual research out of it. Absolutely, I agree.
And
And
Mika, I'm going to go
um,
ahead, Mika. You go.
you can test and iterate faster. So if you have multiple ideas, you can execute more of them and see what's going to resonate with the market rather than just, having only being able to afford and execute one thing.
Yeah.
Mika, the reason I chose that prediction was I have a feeling, tell me if I'm wrong, that you said female entrepreneurs to tell people what they do. There was a note in there of we want to say everything, or we want to, oh, forgive me, ladies, romanticize what we do, or we want to make it into, "Ah, look at this, I'll give you dinner, and I have the pasta and the salad, and the wine is chilled, and the table is set, and dessert is in the kitchen, and everything is ready to go, and the flowers are on the table." It's like, are we having dinner or not?
Yeah. AI will help us understand what's going to resonate.
Yeah.
Yes. And with whom? And I think that's the key there. We have just 3 minutes left. I'm going to give you each a 1 minute major prediction on how AI will help specifically female run businesses, female entrepreneurs. Mika, 1 minute, go. Brea, get ready, and then Tammy, and then we close. Mika?
I think the biggest thing is it's leveling the playing field in a way that we've never seen in the past. And we're going to see more females who have been held back by a variety of factors, whether it's money, whether it's power dynamics, all these other things really start to rise up the ranks.
Thank you. Very interesting. To the point. Brea, talk. 1 minute. She took fewer than 60 seconds, so you've got a couple extra in there. Go ahead, Brea.
I feel like I'm going to piggyback. I mean, the stats on the amount of money that women entrepreneurs make compared to men is crazy. I mean, we're just statistically, it's much, much lower. So to level the playing field in that way, to give us the confidence and the tools to be able to go out and, like you said, test, go to market and really make an impact in a way that only like female entrepreneurs, we just have a different way of impacting and connecting and leading with intuition and emotion. And I think that's what the world needs. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that.
And maybe nurturing too. Tammy, you get
Nurturing.
the last 1 minute. Go. All 60 seconds, all yours. Go.
So I think AI actually helps sometimes in business because it strips some of the emotion away because we can go down the wrong road we can, as women entrepreneurs, we can be led a little bit by our emotions, a little too much. So it kind of helps bring the balance and rein that in a bit. And then we can add our softer side in. So that is my prediction.
Very interesting. It's getting some of the yuck off of our plate, right? I didn't mean yuck in a bad way, but maybe too much of the frilly stuff off of our plate. Not that we're all frilly, but yes, it has been a challenge. And I'll tell you all, when I came up through the ranks as an early woman in tech, women were more, there were more females in my college class than men, and we were all, shall we say, people who were changing their career paths. We had people, I already had a degree in psychology, wasn't going to use that. We had people who had dropped out of or finished law school and didn't want to be lawyers, people who dropped out of architecture school, people who had left medical school. And we all said, computers, programming, what is that? That's fascinating. I want to do that. But there were some, we were in, most of us in our late 20s and early 30s. I was about 26 years old and already divorced with 2 kids. And we found this excitement. But my point is that it wasn't tech bros in those days, Mika and Tammy and Brea. It was, we were just all in tech. And I was the one who was hired to run a system for the college where I went. I ran a statewide community college information system right out of school. So there you go. So there was no, you can't do well as a female in technology. And now today we talk about the tech bros and that sort of thing. So I would love to do a part 3 with the 3 of you, and we'll talk about that if you want to come back. I'm going to put on the closing music, and thank you to Jordan Henson, who is our engineer for the Voice America Media Business Channel. We are also there, and let's do our closing out. Here we go. Listen up.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here? We are too.
Yep.
That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet. Take a deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume. Savvy, art of the possible technology visionaries talking about how today's innovations right now
Listen
are shaping every aspect of our real future. We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and lots more. Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now. With the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
Thank you to Ryan Treasure for that. By the way, Mika, Tammy, and Brea, that was recorded about 8 years ago, and it still works. So open your mind to artificial intelligence and machine learning and Internet of Things. Yes, so it's still very, very open your mind to. I want to thank all of you. Let's wave good.